Hello and welcome back to another solo episode of the Uneducated PT podcast with me, your host, Carla Rourke. This is episode 97, and this is going to be very kind of raw, unfiltered, just, I have a few things written down, but um, this could this isn't a very structured podcast, so my thoughts could go all over the place and not make any sense. But today I wanted to talk about something. I listened to this on another podcast the other day, and I thought, ah, that makes loads of sense. And it was basically on the loss of dead time and why dead time matters, and why it matters in particular to building friendships and connections. Um, so I want to talk a little bit about that and talk a little bit about transactional friendship as well, and catch up friends and all these kind of terms that kind of relate to modern society, and why friendship feels so much harder these days. um like if the research suggested, the statistics suggested that we're struggling to maintain friendships in this modern society that we live in. So if that sounds like you, if you feel like you're struggling to see, sometimes we don't even notice that we are actually struggling. Like, you think, a lot of times you think you have close friendships um because of the trick of social media, because you see your friends on social media every day as they show up, posting pictures and live events, but you're not actually really there. So you might have this or you're all in a WhatsApp group together, so you have this illusion that yous are close because of that, but in reality you probably haven't seen each other in the last month, and that's not good either. So it's not just you. Like, friendships today just feel harder to maintain than ever before, I think. Or maybe it's just because I'm over 30 now, and it's starting to feel harder, with people, you know, moving into their forever homes and having kids and everything else. But I definitely don't think I'm alone in this, because the statistics suggest that most people are struggling. And I don't think it's because we care any less, but because, like, the pace and structure of a modern life, and it just makes meaningful connection more complicated than it used to be. Like, we live in a society that's always in motion, like a culture where we're told to optimize everything: our bodies, our calendars, our productivity, and even our relationships. So time feels scarce. Like, it feels like you have no time throughout the day to do anything, and you have to make every moment count. Like, every interaction is meant to be efficient or profitable or impressive. um so we're not just friends anymore. Like, we're each other's networking opportunities and side hustles and accountability buddies. Like, I have a thing where, oh, if my friend wants to hang around with me, we have to go to the gym because I need to get my training session in. And, like, that's fine and all, but it's also like hanging around with me then comes at a cost, and I don't think that's good all the time either. Um, and just this self optimization, which obviously the influence of hustle culture and social media obviously plays a big role in that. It amplifies, it amplifies everything. So we're consistently exposed to highlight reels and gym selfies at 6 a.m. in the morning, productivity Sundays, and dream jobs and perfect homes and thriving side businesses. And even social connections get filtered and packaged as content, like group selfies and curated night outs, and posts about catching up with your best friend. uh, and then it can end up feeling more performative than personal, and I think I've definitely contributed to this. So, like, I'm not judging anyone when I say this, and it's like, you're putting up pictures of you and your friend, out having, I don't know, cocktails or whatever, and sometimes then it's like, it's not even about actually hanging around with the person. It's about curating this persona online of you being able to focus on your social health as well as everything else. And it creates this, like, unspoken message that if your time with people isn't productive or aesthetically pleasing, is it even worth it? Um, and the result is this kind of strange paradox where we're connected more than ever online, and yet we're often isolated offline, and we follow our friends' lives through stories and posts, but we're not really living it with them. Like, we're not there. We're spectators to each other's existence, but we're not participating in it. like I'm following my friends and I'm seeing them post all these kind of um, milestones, moving into their new house or having their first child, and but it's like, oh, but I probably haven't like just chilled out with them in like a month. Um, so you're not really there, even though you're there, and like that's where this kind of the loss of dead time comes into play, and why it matters. Like so, like dead time is it's kind of hard to explain, but it's like this space where nothing much is really happening. Like when we're younger, right, we would just hang out with each other. Like there's no agenda, there's no activity to justify it. Like yeah, like we don't have to go to the gym together, or it's not a scheduled meet up to see your friends once a week or once a month. Like you're just sitting on the curb, you know, chilling out on the estate, just talking shit, or you're waiting for the bell to go in school, and you're just chatting away and having fun, or lying on a friend's floor, talking about absolutely nothing but also everything, and it's actually a great conversation. Or you're sitting in the car on a long drive, or you're just walking aimlessly you know, through the town after school, or anywhere and everywhere. Like the whole idea of dead time, of the loss of dead time, is like when you were bored, it created this fertile ground for connection. Like it made space for these unfiltered conversations that gave room for depth and humor and vulnerability, and that's when the best stories came out, and like that's when you really really got to know the people that ended up becoming your best friends, that the people that you have known for your whole life now, that came through dead time. That's when you really felt close to someone, not because you planned it, but because you simply just existed beside them long enough to for the magic to happen of conversation. But now our time is scheduled, it's segmented, it's like sanitized. Like we meet for a coffee or a dinner out with our friends, and we go through this like mental checklist of like how's work and how are the kids and how's the new house, and you talk a little, I talk a little, and we both get back to our busy lives because we've ticked off this catch up task that we've had to complete. And because everything feels so pressured, like the stakes for hanging out get higher and higher, and it's no longer enough to just sit on a bench and chill with your friend on the green or whatever it is. Like plans now often require a full evening, drinks, dinner, reservations, babysitters. It has to be an occasion, like it has to be someone's birthday. Like hanging out has to be worth the cost, like in time, energy, money. Like, all right, we only get to see each other once a month, so let's make the most of this. So we've replaced presence with pressure, or purpose maybe is the right word, but it's quietly exhausting. Like it takes a lot for you then now to go see your friends because the stakes are so high that like it has to be this big thing. So like we miss friendships where you can just show up, where there doesn't need to be a performance or entertainment. It doesn't need to be a big thing where we all go down to the pub together on a certain day. It's like we're missing where silence is allowed, and there's no clock running in the background. Like, oh, I have an hour. We have an hour for food, or we have an hour for lunch, or we have from 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock tonight. Um, we're not just like catching up on each other's lives, but simply living a part of life together, if that makes sense. Like you're living life together. That's what friendship used to be, was living life together. That's probably a better way to put it. So we miss the people who don't need a scheduled calendar invite to sit beside us, like who don't need an occasion to hang out, to talk for hours about absolutely everything and anything. Like if when were you able to just show up at a friend's house and just chill there for a couple of hours and not feel the need to get up and leave because you have work on Monday or whatever it is. So like we understand that we need connection, but we also kind of need different connection as well, like slower, more real, less forced. That kind of space to do nothing, but just sit there and chat shit and make funny jokes and add on to each other's joke, and not have to get dressed up, and just be able to chill, and like just be part of each other's lives without like monetizing it or optimizing it or anything like that. I think that is something that we're missing. We're missing like dead time where you don't have to do anything or be anywhere. And I understand that that's not possible. Like you can't just do that all the time, because all right, we have work and we have responsibilities, and like again, there's so much pressure to get so many things done in this day and age, and to make enough money to be able to survive, or feel like just keep up with everyone else. So I'm not saying that you need to lounge around all day doing absolutely nothing with people, because like that's not realistic either. And I know myself, if I was to try and do that, I would be getting anxious, because I'm like, okay, well, I have shit to do. I have to go to the gym. I have to send these emails. I have to record this podcast. I have to I can't just sit around and do nothing. But at the same time, sometimes that is the best thing that you can do, is just sit around and do nothing and just talk shit with a friend, and not have any kind of schedule or time frame or box ticking activity to get done if it's someone's birthday or christening, or it doesn't have to be a catch up friend that let's catch up really quick on everything that we've been missing out on the last month. And I'm not saying that that's not important either. Like, you need catch up friends, you need people that you've spent your whole life with, and you realistically can't see them all the time, or maybe they live a little bit further away, so you only do get to catch up once a month, and that's important too, to schedule them coffees, or schedule that dinner, or schedule or see them at the next birthday party, or see them at the next christening, or the next wedding. Like, they're important too. But I do think that there's a place for just this dead time where you can just show up and just chat about anything and everything. And it also leads me on to kind of these value-based friendships, or more importantly, like transactional friendships. And this is probably a lot more relatable to me, being in like a collaborative kind of space. Like, if you're in an industry like online coaching or business networking or content creation, like, it's common for relationships to be built around mutual goals like productivity and profit and visibility, and shared projects, whether that's jumping on a podcast together, or running an event together, or loads of different things. But like, there's a big difference between these transactional alliances and then an actual value-based friendship. Like, it's easy in online spaces, particular, I think anyway, it's easy to make like consistent collaboration, or to make the mistake of consistent collaboration, or mutual benefit for like real friendship. But if the connection disappears the moment you're not useful to that person, or that person is not useful to you, like, that's a transactional bond, not a value-based one. And in an industry where everything moves fast, relationships often come with agendas. And value-based friendships are rare, but they're essential. Like, they're not just about who can help you win or who you can help win, but also who you want to win with and why. And like I'm not dissing transactional friendships. Like, they're totally okay. I have a lot of them myself. Like, I think they're natural and necessary. They're part of modern life, especially in the entrepreneurial space, the coaching, consulting, content creation. Like, I have friends who I only really catch up with when we're meeting up at events or whatever it is, and I think that's okay as well. So transactional friendships, they're not bad, they're just different. Like, not every relationship needs to be deep or vulnerable or long term. Like, sometimes mutual value exchange is exactly what you need and what someone else needs, and they serve a purpose. Like, you meet someone for a project, you collab, you both get what you want, and that's a win as well. Not every connection will become a best friend. It's impossible. but can still open doors and ideas and audiences. Um, and also they can evolve. Like some of the deepest friendships do start off as transactional. Like shared work can be a gateway to shared values, which is a great thing. So, but not every transactional friendship is going to be that way, and it can't be that way either. Um, but you know what? They're great because they're low in maintenance. Like you don't, I don't feel like when I don't feel like I have to make too much of an effort to meet up with that people other than work. Um, which again, because we live in a fast-paced environment, because you're spreading yourself so thin, it's impossible to be it's impossible to have these great deep friendships with everyone anyway. Um, and these kind of friendships, they can come with like fewer emotional obligations, which is important. So I think the key is self-awareness. Like the challenge isn't having transactional friendships, it's mistaking them for something that they're not. um you know, you expect depth or loyalty from a connection built on utility. That's a problem. Like you feel hurt when someone pulls away after the mutual benefit is gone. That's a problem. Like you're not honest with yourself about what the relationship really is. That's a problem. Like some people are there to help you grow, in a business sense, and that's okay. So you want to have kind of this mix of transactional connections and value based friendships, obviously. Like expand your reach, push ideas, create momentum. Like that's transactional. Like, but you know, a value based friendship is going to keep you anchored. It's going to help you stay true to your principles and support you emotionally and ethically. You know, and be there to support you. But again, it's really, really. I think it's I think it's just really, really hard to navigate friendship these days because, you know, it's like, oh, am I seeing this person enough? Am I just seeing this person because we used to spend a lot of time together when we were younger? Um, do I feel like I'm being forced to make the effort here? Um, do I think this person is really, really important to me? But should they understand that I'm really busy at the moment, and you know, I'm not in a position to be able to catch up every single day with you? It's, you know, is this person more, in a sense, you know, me in terms of like my work and helping me with work and me helping them with work, and do we both understand that this is a transactional friendship rather than a, you know, value based friendship where like the connection is a little bit deeper, and like we can actually have conversations outside of work that don't need to be productive, don't need to be optimized, don't need to be monetized. um I think you need all of them. I think you need people that you can just hang out with, and there doesn't need to be a time limit, and you can just talk shit, and you don't need to make sense, and you can just be goofy with each other. I think that's what we would call the dead time friendships, you know. And then obviously your catch up friendships, you know, people that matter to you, but realistically the only way that you're going to be able to stay in contact is, you know, catch up dinners and dates and life occasions. Um and that's okay as well. But I do think that if we just focusing on, you know, friendships that feel like a checklist, friendships that feel like, you know, scheduled time, friendships that are transactional, that are just purely based around work, um, I think if we only have them, I think that can become a problem, because sometimes all we need is just someone who we're just gonna sit in their living room, have a cup of tea, make stupid jokes with, talk shit, and there's no pressure to be anything other than yourself. There's no pressure to get up and be dressed up to go for lunch, or be dressed up to go for drinks, or get dressed up to meet everyone else for this social occasion, and then not really get to, uh, you know, live life with that friend, rather than just check up on what they've been doing, and you talk, I talk, you talk, I talk. Um, so we need to, I think we need to get back to experience life with friends, rather than just kind of observing their life through through a highlight reel and quick one date dinners every month or so. So I hope that makes sense. There's just some of my thoughts that I wanted to kind of get down and express, and still trying to work them out myself. But yeah. Anyway, if you enjoyed this podcast, you know what to do. Make sure you share it with your friends. Make sure you share it with your family. Make sure you share it on social media. Share it on your stories, whatever you have to do. We will have a special guest on Wednesday coming on, and I look forward to that. And yeah, if you have any comments, if you have any opinions, make sure you let me know, and I'll see you on the next one.